With Kyle Long, I'm Chris Hassel, and with Kyle Long's bracket, he's filled it out. If the season was over, how the playoffs would look. So Vegas tells us that this is likely how it will look, that no teams will jump in from the outside. So this may very well be how it looks. So let's start off in the AFC, where right now the Ravens are out and the Steelers are in as that AFC North champion. Take us through your matchups.
Well, obviously, we got the Houston Texans going to visit the Patriots. And again, I want to stress, this is if the season ended today. This Patriots team jumped up and pounced on that Buffalo Bill team early, 3 possessions, and obviously they blew that lead. I think that there's a silver lining in there. That team knows how to get up on teams. That's really hard to do in the National Football League, taking a 3-possession lead. Drake May's accuracy is unbelievable. Mike Vrabel's situational awareness is second to none. I really feel like that's a competitive advantage. Obviously, as the 2 seed, you're home. Give me the New England Patriots over the Houston Texans. I know those rushers, they can get home against anybody, but the ball's out, and getting Drake May down is a real task, Chris Hassel. All
right, so you've got the New England Patriots knocking off a team with, right now, one of the hottest teams in the league and one of the best defenses, if not the best in the league. That 6-3 matchup's interesting. Josh Allen going into warm weather for a change in the postseason at Jacksonville.
Well, if you think Josh Allen is impressive in the snow, that's when a car is not working at, optimal, ability. And when Josh Allen gets down there in Florida at this time of year, watch out. That car can have a couple extra horsepower. I really feel like the offensive line's been awesome all year, even though they've had guys in and out with injury. On the defensive side of the ball, this team has had to battle against some uphill fights. So this Bills team is no stranger to big games, particularly in this round of the playoffs. Jags, obviously, they're trying to prove themselves. The defense has been awesome. Trevor Lawrence has been better than in years past. Liam Cohen, clearly a coach. But to be the man, you got to beat the man. And the man is number 17 right now because 15 ain't in the playoffs. Give me the Buffalo Bills in this one.
And if it goes this way, that would send the Bills to Denver to face the top-seeded Broncos. This 4-5 matchup, a couple of teams that we've just kind of all been waiting around to fade and to fall out of playoff position, and it hasn't happened. Chargers, Steelers.
Here's the frustrating thing about the Chargers, and year in, year out, people want to point the finger at who? Justin Herbert. But if you take a look at this football team and understand the injuries that they've had to sustain over the course of the last few years, particularly this year at the tackle position, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, 2 top first-round picks that were all pro level players, not in the lineup. Justin Herbert's been beat up. They're peeling him off the turf every single week. Against that Steelers team, they've got a number of rushers. They don't match up well. The Chargers don't match up well against that Steelers team. And Aaron Rodgers at home in the playoffs. What more could you ask for if you're a Steelers fan? Give me the boys from Pittsburgh.
Okay, so it'll be Steelers at Patriots, Bills at Broncos in the divisional in the AFC. Let's fill out the NFC now, beginning with, Packers, Bears, first round. This is how it stands right now. This would be the matchup, and that's the matchup we're getting this weekend. Green Bay going to Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic third episode of the battle between the Bears and the Packers, and I just really feel like this Bears team is trending upwards. I know Jordan Love is amazing. I know the roster is really good in Green Bay, but they've sustained a lot of injuries. Right tackle, they've been at the receiver position. They're injured now with Christian Watson. Tucker Kraft early on in the year, who I thought was one of the most explosive players in football. So unfortunately for Green Bay, this year, it feels like a year that most definitely could have been a Super Bowl year, but it's the Bears' year. Okay, this is Ben Johnson's year, the new regime, the renaissance in Chicago, maybe a 4,000-yard passer here in the next couple of weeks. You're looking at a 10, 11, maybe 12-win team with the Chicago Bears. Give me the Bears at home to beat the Packers.
Exercising those demons against Green Bay.
It's new, okay? Aaron Rodgers isn't there anymore. Brett Favre's not there anymore, okay? So this is your opportunity, Chicago. Make your mark in the playoffs.
All right, Bears moving on as the 2 seed right now. 49ers, really hot, but they're not leading their division, so they're going on the road to Philadelphia to face the Eagles.
Well, if you've ever been or played in Philadelphia, you know it's a hard place to play. If you've ever played the Eagles in the playoffs, you know that they are an even more difficult team to play than usual. I just feel like this is a game about who has better players on the field, more available players, and the Philadelphia Eagles have stars all over the place. I understand the Niners do as well. I give a ton of credit to Kyle Shanahan for sustaining the ups and downs physically on that roster. They've got a couple massive all-pros out of their lineup, okay? Some of their best players aren't on the field, but still, week in, week out, they get it done. It ain't gonna be enough because the time for playing around for the Philadelphia Eagles will be over by then. There's been soap opera, melodramas every week, but one thing this team knows how to do is win playoff games. I expect them to win this game.
I would send them to Chicago in the divisional round. Who goes to LA to face the top-seeded Rams?
Well, it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks will be doing that. They've been awesome all year long. I know they had a little bit of a lull against the 44-year-old at home this past week, but they snuck out of there with a win. I think this Seahawks team can beat you in a number of ways. They play complementary football, physical brand of defense. They get after the passer. And oh yeah, Sam Darnold has been playing lights out for almost 2 years straight here. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him and the Seahawks get a win.
And we might see a third installment of Seahawks and Rams, which I think most people would sign up for. So let's take it all in now from the divisional round as Kyle Long fills out his NFL playoff bracket as it stands right now. And there's the highest seed remaining is Buffalo, the 6th seed in the AFC. You had them advancing to take on the Denver Broncos in Denver, those top-seeded Broncos. But now you got to face Josh Allen in the postseason.
And you know what? I think one thing that the Denver Broncos have that will serve them very well in this matchup, and we'll probably end up seeing it, is that their rush integrity is great. They've got different styles of winners on the defensive front. And if you've ever protected for or watched one of these quarterbacks that scramble, you know that if a defense has a real honest-to-goodness plan and they stick to it in terms of rush lane integrity, where I'm going to stay in this quadrant, you're going to stay over there, we're just going to contain him, we're going to corral him. Nobody's going to go in for the kill because that's when he shakes a guy off and makes a 35-yard run on 3rd and 22. That can't happen. The Broncos understand this. I really feel like the Broncos are the perfect antidote here to take down the Buffalo Bills and number 17, Josh Allen.
All right, let's move on to the Steelers and the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers going to New England to face Drake May, who could end up winning MVP.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an awesome one, and it'll be the passing of the torch, as it were. Two guys that just make it look ridiculously easy at the quarterback position. Drake May, Aaron Rodgers. But I think youth prevails here. I think this Patriots team feels like one of destiny. And the Steelers, they quite frankly have not met my expectations all season long, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Aaron has held up his end of the bargain. But the Patriots, they're too hot offensively. I see them advancing.
All right, to Denver in the AFC Championship game. But let's go over to the NFC now. Seahawks and Rams for the 3rd time. It's in LA.
Hey, look. Matt Stafford. That's all I'm going to say. If Matt Stafford is still healthy, if Puka Nacua is still on the field, if they've got Devontae back by this time, watch out. This Rams team is going to be probably the toughest out in the playoffs. We know that they're a complete football team, but something happens when Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, and the boys enter the playoffs.
Okay, now we got the defending champion Eagles taking on a Bears team that you have beating the Packers in the opening round. What about against the defending champs in Chicago?
I will say this. If you can run the football effectively on a team early on in the season, that sticks with them, okay? So like those guys on defense, they remember what it felt like to put their hands on you, put their cleats in the ground, and not be able to sustain the defensive line of scrimmage. The Chicago Bears ran the hell out of the football against the Eagles. I fully anticipate that matchup being in favor of the Bears again, and if they're at home, this is full-blown double-doink revenge game. Give me the Chicago Bears advancing to the NFC Championship to take on the Los Angeles Rams.
They rushed for 281 yards
Come on,
against
man!
the Eagles in the regular season. All right, so it's 1 versus 2 on both sides. We'll start in Denver, the AFC Championship game, which is on CBS.
Okay. This was the hardest one for me to do, the Broncos-Patriots game. And I think it's really important to point out that if you take a look at 3 of the 4 teams that are playing in these championship games, you're talking about very, very young quarterbacks. You're talking about the future. You're talking about countless Sundays, Chris Hassel, of you and me watching ball with great quarterbacks coming up. And quite frankly, I can't wait to watch it. I have the Denver Broncos, led by a wildly confident Bo Nix, a savvy Sean Payton, a defense that doesn't quit, advancing to the Super Bowl in early February in Santa Clara. I just feel like they have the juice this year. They really do. And as I said, Bo Nix is getting better and better. The X factor for him, his legs. Guy can run. He's going to make some huge plays with his legs in the playoffs.
11 straight wins going into this week as Kyle Long picks his NFL playoff bracket as things stand right now. Your Chicago Bears going to LA to face the Rams in the NFC Championship game.
Well, what we saw last week is that Matt Stafford throws picks even at home sometimes. And you know what the Chicago Bears team does? They take the football away. And I think if you look at Super Bowl champions and if you look at these teams that are kind of teams of destiny, over the course of their season, they have these big plays, these big turnovers, these big moments. The Chicago Bears, there's no shortage of big moments for the Chicago Bears team this season. And when you look back, when they're doing their Super Bowl parade in Millennium Park in Chicago, just remember that I said it. There will be one or two of these big-time turnovers in the Super Bowl when your Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson take down Matt Stafford in Santa Clara. You heard it here first. Chicago Bears, Super Bowl champs.
Wait, so you have them winning the Super Bowl too? You have them beating the Green Bay Packers, which they never do. You have them knocking off the defending champion Eagles.
Yep,
then you have them beating the likely MVP in Matthew Stafford, going to face the Broncos in the Super Bowl, and you have the Bears winning it for just the second time ever. You weren't even born when the Bears won their only Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is watch out, because they're building a bully in Chicago, and they're coming for your team, whoever that is.
You really believe this, or is this a joke?
You'll have to stick around and find out. But I think the Chicago Bears team taking the ball away on defense, running the football effectively, not taking sacks as a quarterback, not turning the football over as a quarterback. These are important things. And oh yeah, what have we seen in the playoffs? Game management, clock management, situational awareness. Would you and I be willing to bet that Ben Johnson's probably pretty sharp as it pertains to those things?
I'd be willing to bet
Let's stick around and find out what happens, Chris.
Why don't you say it with your chest?
I'm just whispering. I
know you're like,
I don't want to peek too soon. This is Super Bowl, bro.
You're tiptoeing around
This is super. I said it loud when I said it, and I believe it. The Chicago Bears could absolutely win the Super Bowl. There's going to be a lot of things that have to go their way, but that's any team that makes a run for the Lombardi.
Okay.
But that team right there, that logo right there, Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson, it's going to be happening.
Sportsline giving them a 2.5% chance
So
to
you're
win
saying
the Super Bowl.
There's a chance.
Kyle says, book it.